Welcome to the channel. Thank you for being here. You know, there's nothing really more satisfying than making something for yourself. But on occasion, instead of customizing something that you make, you can actually customize things that others have made, whether you find it at a store or say it's given to you, garage sale, whatever. In this example, I'm going to show you how I turned this simple IKEA table and customized it into this. All by using just fabric and resin. Let's go do it. Okay. Elephant in the room. There is IKEA stuff in a woodworker's shop. I'm going to be real with you about this. This is a kid's table and chair set. It's made from real wood. It's made from real pine. And it's 70 bucks, hardware included. And it's, I mean, honestly, with today's lumber prices, I'm not even sure if I could make this with today's lumber prices in this capacity. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you how you could take furniture that maybe you don't make yourself, but you can customize it using your favorite fabric and resin. It's going to be pretty cool. Check it out. Let's get right into it. Let's go. One more thing. If you ever buy stuff from IKEA, my recommendation is to use glue. They last longer. IKEA, 20-something years ago, their pieces of furniture used to come with little glue bottles, and they lasted longer. And then somebody realized, you know what? If we don't include glue, when they drag something across the floor, it'll come apart. And they'll have to buy another one. At least, I don't know, maybe somebody in a board meeting was thinking that. Who knows? But when you put together stuff from IKEA, my biggest suggestion to you guys is to use wood glue where wood contacts wood. Dowels go into each other, stuff like that. The pieces will last probably 3 or 4 times longer and maybe through a few more moves than you might expect. All right, that's my tip. Let's get building. The first part of this process is to lay out all the wooden pieces, essentially cutting the fabric down with about a 3-inch overlay on all sides. You can see here I got the tabletop fabric cut and ready to go. Now it's time to turn my attention to the seats, and we're going to cut the fabric as you see here a little bit. Well, I didn't leave quite enough room, trying to save a little bit of fabric there, but it turned out okay. So you'll see that process in a minute. Once we get the table elevated, we're going to turn our attention to Total Boat's 2-to-1 high performance resin. If you don't work with this stuff, if you haven't yet, I definitely recommend you do it. Of course, I've got coupon codes and all kinds of links down below for this stuff. And this pump is incredibly handy if you're going to work with it quite a bit. As you see, we've got about 12 ounces of resin here. Once you stir it up, you want to transfer cups for sure. You don't want any unmixed hardener and resin to get into your projects. Transferring cups definitely ensures that you're going to have a really well-mixed piece. Now, I don't exactly know the best process to do this. I thought maybe flood the surface of the table first and then put the fabric on. As it turns out, you can actually attach the fabric to the table with standard upholstery techniques. Basically, go up underneath and tack it in place. The resin's going to permeate this surface and it's going to get all through that fabric as you see here. Looks pretty good so far. Looks a little rough, but we're going to deal with that in a little bit. Here's what I was talking about earlier, where you can actually take, simple staples, tack the fabric in place, and then flood it with resin. And that seemed to work actually the best. Now, because I didn't use staples in the tabletop, I had to wait about an hour or so and let that resin harden up to where it was a little bit more pliable. And I used this stage in the resin curing process to kind of tighten things up and make the edge look a little bit more desirable. So here are the seats being coated with the 2-to-1 high performance resin. You don't need to flood coat the wood. You can just put the fabric on, squeegee it in place, and you're good to go. Now, I waited overnight to let this resin cure. The tabletop, we're gonna work on this first. I'm simply gonna take one of these long kind of extendable razor blades and I'm gonna trim up the fabric that's hardened up and cured at the bottom of the table. You don't need to trim this off exactly perfect because you're gonna use your random orbit sander to make everything nice and flush. Hear that? Well, it created a very, tough surface, very rough surface, the fabric and resin. And here's how I'm gonna mitigate that. We're gonna finish this off by sanding it down, about 150 grit's all you need. I coat it with mineral spirits and remove all the dust. After that, we're gonna trim off the seats as well. And I'm gonna put another coat, about 6 to 8 ounces of the 2-to-1 resin. The high performance stuff is gonna go on top of that rough surface. Here we go. I'm just gonna spread that around by hand and let that cure. Once that cures, I give that a light sanding as well. And then it's time, well, you guessed it. What you're gonna see me pour onto this is the 1-to-1 ratio countertop or bar top epoxy. This stuff is incredible. It's incredibly durable. It's formulated to be the final coat, the final surface of a table or a bar. And I've used about 12 ounces of this to put a light coat on the chairs and the table. 12 ounces on the table and about 8 ounces on the chairs. And as this stuff self-levels and cures overnight, it turns out gorgeous. And I know it's just Paw Patrol fabric, I get it. But the resin is a top quality look. And I'm so glad it worked out the way it did. But first we gotta go on a little bit of a montage here and assemble these tables. So here you go. And I'm not sure if you're gonna notice, I guess I'll point it out because I like to leave transparency in the video. I assemble this table upside down. You're gonna see here, I put all 4 legs on and then realize, made a mistake. So I had to take it all apart and rebuild it. Not a big deal, just an extra 10 minutes of my time. And here's how the chairs go together pretty simply. And like I said before, guys, use wood glue on this stuff and this stuff will last a lot longer than you might expect. So I gotta give some credit here. This sanding tip I got from Jess and Jeff at Two Moves Design. This is a piece of vinyl fabric that has some cotton on the back. And you can use this to protect the surface of whatever you're sanding. So, I wanna protect that surface that the resin's cured. I don't want that up on my workbench while I'm sanding, creating all kinds of different scratches and whatnot. So put some of this stuff down and then sand your project. It's a great tip. So you can buy this at any Michaels or Joann Fabrics or wherever you want to get your fabric from. But I definitely recommend grabbing a sheet. It comes in handy just like it did here. So because the fabric is so vibrant and colorful, I figured it'd be a good idea to go ahead and paint the table and chairs as well. I'm just simply going to use white spray paint, a pretty durable spray paint as well, formulated to go on any surface. And of course, my tip on spray painting is go light, light, light. You can always recoat, but you don't want streaks. So make your passes very light and very few, and you'll be in good shape. Now it's time to add a little wood glue to the tabletop, flip it upside down, and use the appropriate hardware that came with it to attach it to the top. So I really like this little tray I made out of Paduke. It's got 3 little cavities to kind of hold various hardware pieces. I use this a lot when I'm assembling all kinds of stuff. And now we do the same process on the chairs as well. 4 screws is all you need. And honestly, I can't wait to share this with her. My daughter's birthday is coming up and I'm making this for her birthday. And we just now had the party and I'm gonna explain to you guys exactly what's happening. And here's a quick look at it before I do the final reveal. Okay, it's been a great day, great birthday party. She hasn't seen this yet. There's not many people left in the house. So I'm gonna take this now and reveal it to her. Here you go. Okay, so this is our kids' playroom. I'm gonna set it up, I'm gonna cover it, and we're gonna bring her in and have her take a look, and we'll see what happens. Okay, here's hoping. I made this for you. Okay? I made it for you. It's your birthday. But you have to do this. I want you to go over here, go around, and pull this sheet off.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I think Grandma was a little more excited than she was. What do you think?
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it great?
This is so awesome.
I know.
This is my new favorite thing that you have. Oh my gosh, look at all the guys.
Are you excited? That's so great.
Every guy is there. And look at did you see the seats?
Hey.
Huh?
Hey, can I get a hug?
There's a Paw Patrol.
I love you, baby.
Paw Patrol.
Yeah, I think she likes it.
Now here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Awesome. Oh, hey. Now here we go, Christopher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
So what do you think? Are you gonna play on it?
Do the guys like it?
So do you think she's gonna thank Daddy for this project?
That's total loads.
Oh my goodness, they say the darndest things. And when the dust settled, even her little brother got in on the action as well. Man, it was a rough party for this kid. Hey. And one more time, a little before and after, and I'll be real honest with you guys, I did not know if this was gonna work, and it worked out better than I could have ever imagined. Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this process. This is one of those techniques. I wasn't sure if it was gonna work, but it worked great. And every product I used is linked down below. You can find those at totalboat.com. I've also got a coupon code there where you can save yourself some money as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I do wanna know your thoughts on this process and to see if it is something that even you wanna try. Quite frankly, I didn't know if it was gonna work, and it did. It totally did. And that one-to-one bar top resin, I'm telling you, man, that stuff is impenetrable, and it's gonna be really a table that lasts for years to come for these kids, even though it is IKEA. Because I did tell you in the beginning, use glue when assembling your IKEA furniture. It really will prolong the life. I'm not sure if they want you to know that. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Again, links are down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on my next video. Until then, take care.